What's going on, everybody? This is Dominic, and this is Divine Awareness Channel. I'm here to give you something very special. What you think is the key to happiness?
Can't speak so by you let the left hand know what the right hand doing. You speak too soon and then you mess it all up.
What else?
Ain't nothing else about it. Just don't let your senses know what you're doing. That's why I confused everything. I just blew it. Say I want the world to be clueless about what I got deep down hidden in me.
Well, I think true happiness is realizing that your true self really don't need anything. It's just the illusion of the desire of you thinking that you want something, to feel complete. But really, it's the silence that we got to get familiar with and learn how to become best friends with boredom.
Universe.
You got to become best friends with boredom without inner thoughts, because thoughts comes when you're in silence. Boredom is like you trying to channel information from a still place. So when you can turn an idle mind to a gold mine, that's it, when you can have real happiness within your life. Because when you can't stimulate your mind from an internal source, your mind becomes stimulated from an external force that's going to be led to a wrong path through influence from a driven force that's not even where it's supposed to be in life in the first place. So happiness comes from knowing how to motivate yourself internally, consciously creating each desire consciously without bringing attachment to the outcome.
And my personal take on happiness is that it comes with discipline. True happiness. See, there's an illusionary happiness and there's a true happiness. The illusionary happiness, this comes very quickly. These are instant gratifications. These are things that are very feasible to the mind. A true happiness, and my belief is the discipline to be able to live and without the most basis, most implemental instincts. You have to be satisfied therewith. You find the ultimate bliss, the ultimate happiness, when you're able to be happy and able to be blissful without the most things. See, the excess of things gives you the illusion of desire. It gives you the illusion of happiness. It gives you the illusion of satiation, when you don't find true satiation in that which quickly passes away. See, true happiness is knowing that everything that you need, everything that you desire is from within. That you have the capability of being everything that you need and desire to its utmost happiness capabilities. See, happiness comes from within. Everything is created by electrical charges to the brain to allow you to believe, give you the illusion that you are happy, when true happiness comes from within. Those very same electrical impulses can tell you that you're satiated, that you're satisfied therewith, with everything that you have. You see, the richest man, he's satisfied.
Let me tell them how the mind play tricks. See, the mind, it's important to know that the mind is going to play tricks on you and say, as soon as you get that new house or as soon as you get this amount of money, then I will be happy. But the true awareness is understanding that when you be happy in the present moment, then the riches will come to you on the more you build momentum in the present moment of the journey of establishing your own internal sun, your own internal happiness in life. I'm gonna bring it back to my main track.
Okay, and so, while a lot of people, for very instance, choose to go all around the world, like places like Mount Rushmore and so forth, and go to the most breathtaking sights in the world to try to achieve what is truly life within life, what it is to experience within the great fathom of the universe, the cosmos. When people have found true happiness, the gurus, the mystics of the world, they'll tell you that happiness is found where you stand, from the very place in which you implant your feet. That the happiness finds stem and root from within your mind. When you find a true stillness to realize everything is everything and everything is nothing, then you find true value in everything and you're able to achieve true happiness. So this is one of the takes on happiness. Now unhappiness comes from the lack of fruition of your desires. For instance, the illusionary unhappiness. You wanted ice cream, okay? You wanted ice cream, but then you come home to find out that your ice cream has melted or that it's been consumed before you. Your desire, your innate desire that you had ice cream there to satiate your palates in a way in which you saw fit gave you happiness. But once you got there and found wanting, then you achieved unhappiness. But both these things are fleeting. To have or to not have, either which you have. And so true unhappiness comes from not knowing the value of what you have and the satiability that you can find in knowing the true value in one and all things. And true happiness comes in knowing the true value in one and all things, finding understanding in the true cosmos, and then with that, finding satiability and the fact that you know the true value of things. See, value creates true happiness.
How come people get trapped by the money circumstance when they trying to find true happiness? Why do people see money as the root of true happiness sometimes, and why do people see money as the root of evil sometimes?
Well, you see, money has been caused as the key to happiness. It's a tool. See, money achieves everything from land, state to dreams. It creates the very fruit of people's retirement. It creates a smile. Sometimes people, it's not having that creates true satiation, but true satiation is closer to seeing or creating that happenstance that caused somebody else to be happy. And so money achieves all these things. And so in all this, money has been incongruted to be the tool of happiness and rather be happiness within itself embodified, which it is not. Money is just a very rudimentary thing to happiness. Happiness is the smile you create in a loved one's face, or is instilling the future, maybe 30 years ahead for your children, or happiness is just knowing that you've done everything to make sure that your residence in your stead is going to stay there for many generations to come. See, true happiness is knowing the value, true value, and that which is to be mainstay in the cosmos and that which is to be perishable. See, an instant gratification, this causes the illusionary of knowing what true happiness is, because it gives very quickly and it takes very quickly away. And that's what money is. It comes quickly and it takes quickly away, but with it you have the ability to purchase and to get and mainstay the things that cause true happiness.
How can I establish internal motivation to improve my inner happiness?
Well, truly, you have to find your foundation. You have to find and research and constantly search yourself in the cosmos. You have to research your stat and your value, your true satiation in the universe. You have to realize the one and the all. And this is how you find true happiness within yourself. And while doing that, you're going to be able to create the tools to help you go forth and seek true happiness by finding the true value in all things, the polarity in all things, and the beauty in all things that's created in the Fibonacci sequence.
What if it's hard to build momentum and understanding the value of the sequences of the universe?
Well, even the greatest mystics and the greatest gurus search their entire lives through and through for happiness. They search their lives through and through for the true value. And so you always have to be disconcerted with yourself because you haven't found the happiness, you haven't found the momentum. You have to constantly create that momentum. You have to constantly seek. You have to constantly create from the moment you wake up as a discipline. And so don't be fretful with yourself because you haven't found the true happiness. Just cause that to be a blessing, because that means that your mind seeks more. It seeks more for satiation. It seeks greater value to satiate what some people call bliss. See, some people are happy with very little. But when you find a value in a very minute thing, then that can give you the mind, the momentum, the power, and the drive to seek greater things of greater worth and greater value that can give greater satiation and happiness and bliss in your life.
What is the best way for myself to be more effective into being involved inside the present moment? What do you think I should do with my time to be more involved within the present moment to establish and improve my happiness?
Well, what you have to do is, in my belief, you have to study the collective conscious as it is. You have to see. You have to truly know where you are in society, to truly know what the society needs and its desires, and what's its best happenstance to move it forward. If you don't have knowledge of these things, how can you know to move forward? How can you know what is needed if you don't know what is lacking? And so I figure to truly find out what is necessary to move collective consciousness forward, you have to first know the collective consciousness. In itself is knowing and understanding and having awareness to seek beyond the self and to seek into the value of that which is beside you and that which is without, that which is in the cosmos world. And so in doing this, you're going to find true satiation within yourself. You're going to find a drive to move forward, and you're going to find a happiness because you seek from within and without. By knowing the self, you know the universe around you.
How important is establishing a beginner's mindset when it comes to improving my happiness?
Well, understanding, when we approach everything, we do it in a cradle of understanding. That means we approach everything as a babe. You have to go to a master as a child. You know, it is said even in the Bible, you cannot enter heaven unless you do so as a very little child. You can't go in to, the upperclassmen expecting to know everything. You have to come there with a mind and a heart full of understanding and full of patience. This is the only way you can ever expect to garner true knowledge. Even the greatest minds have gurus, they have masters. That means they came to a full cradle of understanding as a babe, and they came as a child that is wet behind the ears and is unknown with milk. And so you have to approach all things. The universe is constantly unfolding. When we reach a cycle of intelligence and understanding, we find that there's a higher cycle of intelligence and understanding that is great above us. And so you are not approaching anything as a master, but you're constantly a child, a student, and the universe's cradle of understanding and wisdom.
What is the best way that I can improve my communication with the collective consciousness and the infinite intelligence?
Well, I find in personal experiences that is listening. You have to understand that everybody has a personal consciousness. Everybody has, a porthole through which they perceive the perceivable universe. So you have to go from place to place. You have to listen. You have to know people's individual, personal perspective towards life. And this way, you know how you should approach it and how you should approach them. And in doing so, you garner a greater knowledge and a greater understanding of the collective consciousness together. And then, by knowing yourself within the collective consciousness, you know what it demands of you, and you'll know the next step to take forward.
What is the importance of establishing discipline?
The importance of establishing discipline is because we can never presume to know everything. We can never presume to know enough. And so by having discipline, we're always preparing our minds to look for something that we may have considered rudimentary or passive, because these things could be the very factors and what gets things to move, and we have to understand that by taking in the figurative model of energy. People perceive that we only use 10% of our brain, but in counting the glacial nerves in, we find out that we use a full 100%, possibly not to the factor in which they should be, but we do garner a full 100%. And so we have to always apply discipline in everything we do, because you never know if someone hasn't overlooked that before you, or if the proper steps have been paid for you, and you can't presume to know or expect that they are. But this can be achieved through you. So you always have to approach everything with discipline and knowledge, because we are always a student in the cradle of the cosmos understanding.
How can I influence my loved ones to help effectively improve the knowledge of the collective consciousness?
Well, I found in personal experience, we can always exhort. We can do nothing more but to share our personal experiences and our personal perception of the knowledge as we have come to understand it in the cosmos. And by doing this, we give them an opportunity to look from within and see if this knowledge can be weighed against gold to be found as true. And in doing so, a lot of people throughout the generations have garnered knowledge and found this knowledge. And so by sharing your personal experiences and your personal knowledge, and by showing people that you put your best foot forward, they can know that it's probably more proper for them to put their best foot forward. because it's through trial and error that we found the best perfections and the best beauties in the universe. Someone has to take that step forward. Someone has to take that brave first step for others to follow it instead. And so sometimes you have to be that energy. You have to be that inert motion to set forth by which others can follow and know it to be true. You know, in the same way, like someone sees an image before them, you can tell them that that image is but an illusion because you have stepped forth and see that that oasis is nothing but to be found sand, you know. But if you had not sent forth that first move, people would have went forth thinking that it was oasis, and they would have starved together and died. That's just a figurative way of saying sometimes you have to be that inert emotion.
What is the ultimate goal of sharing information and raising the awareness of the collective consciousness?
The ultimate goal is to become one. We found out that the universe and the cosmos was originally one, but as some singularity burst out into fractal energies. And so our ultimate goal is to reunite that consciousness to become one and to realize the universe in the ultimate perception in which it can be perceived. And so to do this, we have to create a collective consciousness. And the ultimate goal of doing this is to find out the ultimate pinnacle of knowledge that we can attain and then share that with others that seek to attain said knowledge on their particular pinnacle of height, and then constantly join that like a bones to the joint until we find a full membrane, a full body of knowledge, of collective consciousness, of people that are willing to strive and put their best foot forward. And then we can approach the oneness of the singularity hand in hand. And that's the ultimate goal.
Oh, yeah. This is how we get down in the knowledge conversation, baby. We get down to the nitty gritty. We're going to do this every night because we need to talk about what's going on. A lot of people's frightened. They stuck in fear. We here to lift everyone from fear. Check all our other videos out just to give you upliftment, to give you the strength to see past the veil of the existence we now live in. Much love, peace, and happiness. Our universe is here for our enjoyment. See you next time, Divine Awareness. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get Divine Awareness. It'll change your life right now. Don't miss out on it. Cop it on Amazon Kindle. Right now, Divine Awareness. Thanks for your support. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks for clicking. Live, laugh, love well. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, yeah. Until next time. Always on my mind. Ha ha ha.